Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am Army Piper. This is a lot of red on the daily here, guys. Watching that, looking at the chart this morning, we did get a little bit of a pump up here, broke above that 382, and now we're retesting back on that 50% fib line here. Getting a bounce on it typically is bullish, but we've got a big problem. Government shutdown's about 24 hours away. It looks like we are going to have a government shutdown at this point. JD Vance has already said that he does not believe that they're going to be able to come to any type of agreement. And now the market's kind of bracing for it because of the repercussions of what that means. We're going to talk about all that today. We're going to break it down. We're going to get into these charts. We're going to get into this news. We're going to get into the data and talk about the so what. Really, at the end of the day, at the Piper Academy, it is just that. So what? I don't care. We got a plan, right? So we're not scared. We're prepared. Let's go ahead and get it. You guys know what time it is. Take your seats. Class is in session. Let's go. It's funny. BC just said, "Shut it down forever." We just had a talk about that here at the before the show with this guy right here. Let's go ahead and bring him up. OC guy, myself. We were talking at the beginning of the show. I said, hey, I wonder how DC feels about that whole federal government takeover. I don't want my trash pickup being controlled by somebody who just randomly shuts down every year and says, yeah, we're not going to work and we're not paying anyone. So enjoy your trash pile up. Yeah. OC, they're trying to make us look like some areas of Mexico, bro.
Oh man, I wish, man. No, but
Good Lord.
yeah, but and I was telling Piper, you know what? Like, I mean, I don't even remember what was the last time government shut down in Mexico. Like to be honest, I don't at all. I was starting to make some memory back in time, and I just can't remember.
I love Mexico's setup. If you guys don't know, OC told me how it all goes. Shout out to the OGs, the Alex O crypto gang rolling in here. We're about to go check out some news with them too. We got some economic data just came in, but I like how the government works in Mexico on this point. You were explaining it. You want to explain it again? If they can't come to an agreement on the budget, what happens?
They just use the previous one, and that's it.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant and simple. Let's go with that. Yeah.
Right?
If you guys can't agree on the new budget, you'll just use last year's budget and you'll like it. You'll take it and like it. Just let it happen. So yeah, I think that's the way to go. OC, let's go jump over into the Bitcoin chart real fast, and then we'll go take a look at this news. Actually, let me go look at this economic data before you jump over there. Oh yeah. Jolt's job openings actually came in pretty good. Let me jump there and then we'll come over to you and take a look at the chart. Jolt's job openings just came in top of the hour, guys. If you don't know what this is, Jolt's job openings is your United States job openings as a total. It's the job openings and labor turnover survey. So these are jobs not filled, in line with the market expectation of 7.2. It was 7.227 million. If you actually take a look at what the projections really were, it was 7.2 million, 7.1 million. We came in better than expected. This is kind of bullish for the labor market, which means we would see a flashbang coming soon. Hold on. We would see a decrease in the likelihood here of a rate cut off of that data. Right now, it hasn't changed yet, but we'll check this later. So right now, 7.5% chance of no cut. We'll see what this is later on. But yeah, it looks like job number came in this morning, and this is going to be maybe the only reading for job numbers this week that we get, guys. Why? Because if we go into government shutdown and it lasts through Friday, the Bureau of Labor Statistics has reported they will not put out these non-farm payrolls and unemployment rates. So brace for that. OC, let's go take a look at that Bitcoin chart now that we got this data in. Jolt's job openings coming in better than expected. There was a revision. I will point out there was a revision from 7.181 million to 7.2. So on last month. So right now for August, we're looking pretty good on the Jolt's job openings. How is the Bitcoin chart reacting to this price action? Let's go over there and take a look.
Perfect. Let's get started really quickly before I go to Bitcoin. Let's take a look at XRP. Yesterday night, we gave a short on XRP, and we were talking about If you wanted to move your stop to entry at 284, that was a okay movement. So we are already hitting it and going past it. So just a quick reminder, if you're following on this trade, it's time to move your stop to entry. So let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to be just moving it to the dynamic reactor, not quite there yet, to 0. And that is because I don't have there here a candle closure, but still, there we go. We are on the green. We'll keep it going. So let's go back into the Bitcoin chart. And right here, I kind of like a cleanup, quote unquote, on my charts. I know there's a lot of lines in here, but I want to show you something special here. I was talking about yesterday that I hate this low. It's because this low kind of like it goes in line with this trend line right here. And that tells me that we are basically on a ginormous triangle here, right? So it was not a megaphone. It was not anything else but a triangle. Or even if you will, well, we could be looking at this triangle as it stands right here, right? So why did I want it to go all the way down here? And basically, I need to adjust this a little bit. So let's go for it. Or better yet, I already have a chart prepared for that matter. So let's go click it here and wait for it to load. Here it is. So if we would have hit at this bottom, well, we did hit and then hit back again this other bottom in here, we will be into a megaphone. What was the last thing that happened to a megaphone? Sweep of the lows and very powerful breakout, right? Powerful move to the upside, breakout, retest, continuation with strength. It's not a given solution. It's not doesn't mean that it's going to happen immediately or for sure, but so far that's what I was expecting. A little bit more liquidity hunting right down here, and then a movement with strength, right? Right now we're having a rejection right in here, which means we need to create another trend line right here as we stand and look for the next movement. So far, we need to look at where is the liquidity at or where we were before, and I'm going to be moving this box a little bit below, well, if I can, of course. And you can see that right here we have the liquidity, so coming back down to 111,000 would have been a good area. Also, you can see that this box ends up at here 110,000. So somewhere between those areas, back at the support. Let's bring out my support and resistances, and we'll see that we are basically nailing that zone at 111,521 ish for that zone. All right, let's bring up another support and resistance, and we see the duplicated support right there. Let's go now for our predictive ranges. The predictive ranges, they tend to be a little bit messy right now because of all of the drawings that I have on screen. Let me try to clean this up a little quicker. There we go. And well, then we see that we are breaking. When we broke the purple, we are going, or we going to hit the blue line. All right. So very important. Once we start hitting the blue line, let's check out if we are still on green on our money flow. And if we start on green on our money flow, I would say that this is going to be the area to look for a rejection to see if we are flagging out or if we are having a full-fledged rejection. All right. But so far, I'm going to be looking at 112K for a possible re-entry. So let's actually go ahead and mark it right here and set that alert. I'm gonna set the intention trade in here, all right, and I'm gonna set my stop loss right below this area here. I'm gonna double check with my support and resistances, and well, then I'm gonna be moving my stop right below that support. Once again, checking with my support and resistances, and well, I'm gonna be adjusting once again my entry in the midpoint of those areas to get a better or yeah, a better possibility for that reentry. But so far, that's what I got. I'm looking for that possible rebound to the upside. And just to finalize this, I want to go and set up a Fibonacci really quickly from, and you know the drill, from the known point to the speculative point right here and looking for my 33% retracement. And that is somewhere where we are right now, very close to this area. So 38 or even 50% will be a good area to entry. As you can see, golden pocket comes to the support line. So we also need to take this into consideration because if we get stopped out, well, then we could get stopped dead at the golden token, which means another possible bounce. That's why this is going to be a 1/4 of an entry, as we have been doing lately. So that's it on Bitcoin for my part. Let me throw it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Fantastic, man. Let's go ahead and jump in on the news. Let's get in on it because we got a lot of stuff to go over about government shutdown. I wish I was talking about other stuff, but yeah, this is where we are. Welcome to America. Merca. There we go. Let's go jump over to the news and talk about the metrics right now, guys. Looking at the Into the Cryptoverse metrics right now. Right now, 3.882 trillion is the total crypto market cap. Looking at the trend line on this, it's at 4.413 trillion. That means we're currently undervalued on the total crypto market cap by 12.41%. Not seeing any closing of the gap there from current price level to that red line. That's the median. Looking at the wristbands on Bitcoin right now, we're sitting at 54.1, staying in that 50% wristband line, and looking at Bitcoin dominance. And I want to show you guys something. Ben Cowan showed this on his show last night, and it's pretty interesting. With stable coins, 58% right now is Bitcoin dominance. Take away the stable coins, we're at 62.57, and you can see we're on a move up here. But if you go in and you type in up here, and if you guys want Into the Cryptoverse, links down below, you guys should check it out. It's actually really good. It's expensive, but it's good. Let's go to some month, and let's look at monthly returns. And then we're going to click on here, and we're going to go to metrics, and we're going to click on dominance, and then we're going to click on Bitcoin. There we go, and apply it. This is the monthly return tables for Bitcoin dominance. And I want to show you guys right now, we're sitting at 1.53%. This was like 1.3 something this morning. So we are seeing it come up even more right now this morning with Bitcoin price versus alt. But check out the monthly returns historically for October. On average, 4.8 to 5.8% is the dominance growth in the cycle for October, right? For Bitcoin dominance. So we should expect overall, when you look at how many months we are in green, we should expect that October Bitcoin dominance returns before November, which would be in line with what I've been talking about with the end of the cycle. So we got a chart. We'll show it here in a little bit, where it's showing the profit line into the end of the cycle. And then I've also got a thing from Cryptos R Us. He's talking about like into 2026. Math doesn't math. We'll break all that down too. But looking at that Bitcoin dominance, what it's saying there for the October, November. November will likely be a period of red on the Bitcoin dominance going into, meaning alts then get their move later on. But it looks like Bitcoin topping, in my opinion, sometime between November 3rd. And if Buck's in here, yes, November 10th is coming up in that equation. So we'll show it all to you here in just a bit. Let's go ahead and jump over and look at the altcoin season, where we at right now at it. We're at 71.11%. We got rejected again out of that 75% band, which is alt season here and above. We're getting rejected out of it again there. So right now, currently not Bitcoin nor altcoin season. What about liquidations for the past 24 hours? In the past 24 hours, 123,043 traders got liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $309.58 million. Hyperliquid had an ETH trade for $5.42 million on the highest single liquidation in the past 24 hours. Cowan said he's running a sell currently. Just overheard on the stream yesterday, in case anyone is interested. There you go, Deb. Get it, Deb. Get it. There you go. She's dropping that knowledge for you guys. Let's go check out Bitcoin, Fear, and Greed. It's currently sitting at 50 as of 3 hours ago. In neutral. Ethereum at 48, also in neutral. And then we'll talk about that. That's the thing I was talking about earlier. Not looking good for Aster. Any of our Aster traders out there, if you're looking for a short. Tomorrow, $1.3 billion worth of Aster will be unlocked for the airdrop stage 1. Over 700 million tokens, or approximately 8.8% of the total supply, is going to be hitting into circulation. It might be bumpy a few days. Might be a bumpy few days ahead there. Looking to see, I'm waiting to see some confirmation from Digital Asset News verifying this. But right now, that's what they're saying, is that there's a big airdrop coming that will dilute the supply, and that will cause some price going down. So Aster, there you go. There you go. Looking at the crypto bubbles right now, guys, Bitcoin currently down 0.6% on the daily, up about 0.1% on the last hour, but a lot of red here on the daily across the board. Bitcoin holding up a lot better than some of the alts, which is why we're seeing that Bitcoin dominance move up. Top 20 down. Let's see here. Anything big movers? No, not really. Kind of just really flat. I mean, when you think about it, crypto being down 2.9% is it's a Tuesday. That's what that is. So let's go over here and take a look at the stock markets right now. Refresh it, make sure we got most recent data here. Looks like we do. Dow Jones currently only up about 0.04%. S&P is just slightly down, flat, 0.08. NASDAQ's down about 0.25%. The Russell 2K flat also. The volatility index, and I think that you're going to see this thing pump like crazy this week. It is sitting just under 17. It's up 0.5% today. Look at the bonds market, 10-year yield continuing down. It's a good thing. We like this. This coming down means that people are able to get mortgages and car loans cheaper. If you don't know, now you know. So yeah, that's coming down. 10-year yield settling. Look at the gold. Gold's on its way back up again, sitting at $3,863 and making another rally here. Silver down about 1.13%, but still sitting above $46 this morning. Copper getting a pretty decent sell-off, down 0.8%. Platinum and palladium both also in the red. Platinum's down 2%, palladium down 1.36%. That's what we have there. Look at oil. Oil dropping, guys. We're going to see some of the lowest oil prices of 2025 coming into play if this continues on this glide path, 62.64. So dollars per barrel right now. And I think we are going to see this break 60 very likely. So keep an eye on oil. Seeing the demand kind of dropping there. Again, looking at the economic data this morning, we had Chicago PMI that came in this morning at 8:45 my time, 9:45 a.m. on the East Coast. This came in lower than expected. This is your orders demand for the Chicago region and manufacturing. We saw a decrease in that, meaning that people are ordering less right now. Was at 41.5, expected to be 43, came in at 40.6. And then the home prices year over year, home prices not getting any cheaper, was at 2.2 after a revision from 2.1, was expected to be as low as 1.6, forecast to be 1.9, came in right in the middle of the consensus, the forecast at 1.8, but showing that home prices, while they're still, they're up 1.8%, but not as much as it was. So slow down on how fast they're going up in price, but still an up in price year over year of 1.8%. What else we got? Tomorrow, guys, we may not get any data starting here on October 1st. Tomorrow is the questionable shutdown of the government, which also would mean that we're not going to get this non-farm payrolls and this unemployment rate on Friday if that happens. Right now, expected to be 4.3% on unemployment across the board. They are expecting that non-farm payrolls are going to jump up from 22 to 50,000 non-farm payroll job increase. Again, this will be the only data we get, which was actually pretty good if we get a government shutdown, because this data won't come in. Let's talk about 5 things you need to know today. Shutdown repercussions. This is the one that I'm going to focus on here. Bureaucracy on the brink. The Democrats and Republicans have until midnight to agree on a funding deal and avoid a federal shutdown, but it's not looking promising. After a meeting yesterday between Donald Trump and top lawmakers, Vice President J.D. Vance said the U.S. is headed to a shutdown, dashing the hopes for an 11th hour agreement. A shutdown could have significant implications on economic data closely monitored by economists, investors, and policymakers. Here's the rundown. The Labor Department, Bureau of Labor Statistics, the BLS, Labor Department said it would not release Friday's key jobs report, as well as Thursday's weekly jobless claims and other expected economic data if the government is shut down. Not having these numbers would be a curveball for the Federal Reserve, which said it increasingly focused on the health of the labor market. And then House Speaker Mike Johnson, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, and the Senate Majority Leader John Thune will all be on CNBC's Squawk Box. I watched that. They were talking about that it's really about this $1.5 trillion disagreement on enhanced tax credits for ACA, because it opens the door. There's a little flex room loophole there that the funding can be used to go into undocumented Thank you, YouTube. Well, you guys know what I'm talking about. We have to get that. We have to get through that window there of a 1.5 trillion dollars that could be used for things that are not advantageous to the tax-paying American citizen. So there you go. That's the best way I can put that out there without getting strikes against me from YouTube. But that's really what the hang-up is on that. As of right now, the odds of a government shutdown are sitting at about 70% in the prediction markets. As a matter of fact, it's even higher now. Let's refresh this, just see. There you go. 80% chance as of right now, according to Polymarket, 80% chance that we get a government shutdown tonight at midnight. Labor Department, again, will not release that data, as we said. And then government shutdowns usually have little economic impact. This time could be different. To add on top of it, little cherry on top, no, we cannot. Uh, I just don't want to play the game. They're striking at everyone right now on YouTube, so we'll just not play that game, BC. For all the political firestorms they generate, government shutdowns historically have been non-events for both the market and the economy. This time, however, we have Donald Trump threatening to make some of the government furloughs resulting from a shutdown permanent, which could be another shock to the labor market because we've already seen what happened under Doge with that. So Donald Trump's threat to make federal government furloughs resulting from the shutdown permanent could have longer lasting impacts on an employment picture that has already been looking precarious. So we got that in the mix here. There it is. Trump threatens mass firings of federal workers if the government shutdown isn't averted. But hey, we got hope. We got hope, guys. Jim Cramer says he thinks the government shutdown won't have a big impact on the market. So who do you want to believe? Jim Cramer or the economists saying it could have a bigger impact than we think? As of right now, 7.5% chance, again, that we get no rate cut, a 92.5% chance that we do get a rate cut on October 29th as of right now. So I did want to come back over here, and I'll bring this onto the news side with OC up here with me because this is pretty funny. Guys, this is hopium at its finest here. Where's it at? Where's it at? There we go. Cryptos are us. You're going to love this, OC. He said, history doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme. Bitcoin has historically topped out at approximately 500 plus days after each halving. With the latest halving in April 2024, that puts the potential cycle peak somewhere in late 2025, early 2026. That's what he's calling for here. However, let's take a look. July, May, April. Those were the halving dates, 2016, 2020, 2024. It got earlier. It got earlier. Let's look at the end of the market. End of the market is December, November, October. These keep getting earlier. Why does his say late 2025, early 2026, meaning later? And so I said, okay, let's go do the math. Chat GPT, break this down for me. And she said, you're right. The 500 plus day slide is sloppy. Here's the clean math and what it actually implies. The halving to peak math, hard dates, 2016 halving, 2017 peak, 2020 halving, 2021 peak, right? Overall, 500 days, 526 days if you look at 2016, 548 days if you look at 2020. September, as of September 1st, we're at 500 plus days. Average of the last two was 537 days. That would be October 8th, 2025. October 8th, 2025. To get early 2026, it would be approximately 650 days after the halving. Late January 2026 is way longer than any post-2012 precedent. So earlier every cycle on the calendar check, the peaks have been about 5 weeks earlier each cycle from the previous cycle. Extrapolating that drift once more lands around early October, which matches the 535-day average or so above, right? If we're looking at the breakout rule of that later time period, why the bias is in the graphic. Bottom line, here it is. Most probable peak window, September 27th through October 19th. Point estimate would be October 8th. That's the 537-day average. The stretch late case would be an add-on of 22 days. That would be November 10th. There you go, Buck. There's your November 10th date. Early 2026 would require a record-long 650-day stretch, low probability versus the history. And let's jump over to the chart. Take a look here, because this is the date that we've been talking about right here, which is November 3rd. If we extend this one more week out, what is that? November 10th. Guys, this is right in line with the norm. And so people that are like banging on the drum constantly saying this is a definitive here, that we're going to be looking at late 2025, early 2026. Careful of the bias. That's a bias pitfall, okay? Is it possible? Absolutely. Is it probable? No, I don't think it is. I think it's probable that we're going to follow trend until we don't. But I'm going to pass it over to OC, because OC does have a reason to believe that we do have an extended cycle. So we'll let him run with that one, and then I would like to get your input on all of this chaos of government shutdown that we're looking at this week. But first, OC, what do you think? What do you think? 2025, early 2026, or do we go with the math as it has always been? What's your thoughts?
Math has always been. I mean, period. That's it. I mean, there's no reason to believe that we're gonna have just now. I don't think that we have enough evidence that for have a reason to believe that there's gonna be a major change, right? I've been talking about the amount of market cap, right? So how big of a market cap is it, and how the cycle is not basically taking effect, and so on and so forth. But we haven't seen that result. For that to become clear, we need to have uh a shallow bear market, like a very shallow bear market, right? That's when I would say, you know what, this shallow bear market, this is gonna be the bottom, and then when everybody thinks that we're gonna keep going lower, that we start seeing some reversal indicators, and then start pumping back up and making a range. So that range would tell me that we have enough market cap to survive the bear market instead, and then just prolong it instead of making it a actual bear market, therefore taking us back again to all-time highs and scenarios. Let's just call it 100. And are you frozen?
No, just reading.
Oh, to stay still. So, uh, taking us back to, I don't know, somewhere between 128, 130, and that will basically stay there and dump back down, right? How far down? 100K, right? So staying within that limit would tell me that we, or the market cap, is actually there, and then we're gonna have an extended cycle, therefore having a all, well, not all times low, but a bottom, a market low at 96K to 88K for the shallow bear market bottom. And that if our top comes at, I don't know, 130, 140K, that then will tell me, there we go, like for example 140K, as we've been talking about. That's because of the next maybe impulse that we have, and then going back down to get this area right here where we have a lot of liquidity right there, and then stopping at that zone, right, which comes at a bottom low at 88, 80, 89, 88, and then at a top right here at 100K. So once again, having the next impulse, and then the very shallow bear market not going below 80K, 88K, and that coming back up, creating somewhere around 100K, and basically oscillating um into a huge range in there. And that is because, let's go to the weekly, we can start seeing for that forming, like for example right here, right? I mean, the weekly is telling me, hey, up range, right? Up range, right? Up range, and then up, and then the bull market, but kind of like at this kind of range. And why am I taking this from? Well, then if we go to the daily on the previous market, and this is getting too long, we'll see that here it is. If we can hold this for another impulse, so this one for another impulse, I think that we are going to be going for the next one. Same thing here. Where are we going to be having the top? I expect somewhere around, like 140, something like that, right? And then if we have that double bottom, and then we have that triple top in here, then we could be going for that massive blast and then getting somewhere between 300K. And why is it not 500? Well, because then we need just a little pause, euphoria, so on and so forth, and then have the last blow off top at to 500K. But that's another story. So yeah, I mean, extended cycle if we get the market cap.
I just want to point out, I've talked about this numerous times. Pulling trend-based fibs, low to high. We had one outlier here that we broke this. We didn't even get into it completely in 2021. Check it out, man. Just saying.
Oh, there we go.
Just saying. Just saying. Talked about this when we were way back in here on price. So this had been on my chart for a long time, and that's where we currently are. All of our fight is taking place inside of this trend-based fib extension here of the golden pocket. So if you guys want to know how this is pulled, let's take a look here. You'll see this is pulled from the cycle low back here. Let's go back here. Cycle low to cycle high to cycle low, and it's giving that pull, that 3-point pull from low. Whoa, sir. Draw. Thank you. From low to high to the low, and that gives a trend-based fib extension of the golden pocket for the next cycle. And historically, that's been where we find our top at. I still think that we have a chance to pump up and have a really good run in October just because we are holding the bull market support band so well right now on the weekly. But guys, keep in mind, we are inside of the rejection top zone. And then also, again, we're really close to hitting, we're 35 days away right now, 33 days away right now from the October 3rd window. November 3rd window, I should say, November 3rd window, and then November 10th being the extension there for the top cycle. So keep it all in line. Don't be scared. Just be prepared. But I am watching this week. I do think that we could have some potential volatility. It's going to be a very rough trading week if we get a government shutdown tonight at midnight. So, guys, hang in there. Trade Intuition said, I'm waiting for Piper to be wrong. Still waiting. Piper's too accurate to not be AI. No, so my job in the Army, Joe, and I know you're joking, but, well, sort of joking. My job in the Army was to do multi-source intel. I was all-source intelligence analyst. And so bringing in all of these different vectors of source data to converge, analyze it, and then go most likely course of action, most dangerous course of action, so on. So it applies, the analytical cycle applies across everything. So if you have a data source and you have a way to compare that data and you have a way to project with it off of your analytics, you can apply it to whatever it is. And so I just happen to use it on charts and markets. So shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Appreciate you guys all being here. We got 125 people total, 121 on YouTube, 4 over on X watching right now, and very low on the likes. So if you guys haven't done so yet, smash those like buttons.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
OC, what do you got? Let's go take a look at gold, and let's go take a look at the US dollar. I think those two things we really need to keep an eye on this week. And then we'll get into some altcoins, because if Bitcoin craps the bed, guess what alts are going to do? Crap the bed even more. And then we'll fulfill that prophecy that Bitcoin dominance is about to rally up approximately 5.8%. And then altcoins really are in the hurt locker at that point. But what are we seeing on gold and the dollar? Let's jump over to your chart and check it out.
Absolutely. Let's get started first with the dollar here. And well, we were expecting this one as we were crossing over or bouncing from here. We were expecting that bounce. It did happen a little bit faster. Why do I always say that? Because I tried to get a direction, right? Given time. So if we have a axis in here, right? I tried to give you a time-based direction price thing, right? Prediction. So I was expecting for this to go a little bit slower, right? But still, I mean, it did play out the same way that we were expecting, hitting the target, having a beautiful reversal. So guys, if you are using the reversal, or if you have chart pattern and you're not using the reversals, you guys are missing out. Look at those beautiful reversals. And by the way, you might be saying, hey, this one did not work. Well, did it reverse? Yes, because you need to go check out how reversals work, and I give you a 3-way of reversals. Why am I going for that? 3 ways to use the reversal, because one of those, oh, come on, I don't want to remove everything. One of those reversals is a breakout retest reversal, right? Remember, it's not about your breakout, it's about your retest. And if we're not careful enough, we might have this breakout again out of this zone. So we have the reversal. We're going for support. Let's see if we have anything on supporting here. And yes, we are into a channel support, maybe going even lower here. Let me control C this, and well, we can start drawing some trend lines. And if we do this, you'll see that we have big support right down there. So let me just clean this up, leave it as is. And if we see Dixie going up, well, what do you think is going to happen with altcoins? All right, especially Bitcoin. All right, let's go check out gold. And I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure if you remember, Piper, that yesterday, not 100% sure in which show I mentioned this, but if we see government shutdown, for me, that was a signal that gold was going to pump.
Yep,
And
I
well,
agree.
yep. Hold and behold, here it is, right? It's pumping. It did have a little retracement coming back up. We can see something in here. Let's go and zoom out, zoom in. And this is something that I like, which we are having that little U-shaped pattern at the top. That usually ends up being a little bit of a stronger movement. Like, for example, right here. Oh, come on. This U-shaped pattern. And well, this is called a little too compressed. Here it is. And we have another little run up, right? And then when we have that U-shaped pattern, once again, a little run up, so on and so forth. So is it like 100% sure? No, as always, nothing is 100% sure, but that gives us a perspective on what to look for, right? And my ADX, it is flat. So why is it that important? Because I'm still above the 0 line on my ADX. And this also tells me that I'm not ready just to plumb back down, right? It tells me that I'm holding the bullishness. So I'm steady. That means steady growth or range. And oh, don't move stuff that I don't intend to. So that means that we're either going to be ranging, which also going to be good because we could be creating a pennant, a bullish pennant, or, well, up, right? Constant growth, which is going to be a little range to the upside. That constant growth would be just a little bit of what I wouldn't like. And that is because it hasn't applied recently to gold. But you can see constant steady growth. Here it goes, tends to break to the downside and then go for a little flat zone. All right. I'm telling that it hasn't applied lately to gold because look at this. That's exactly what we were looking for. And then instead, breakout. Now we know that it's going the other way around. Retest. We have our confirmation and off we go. Right. So the same thing. Oh, man, I just need to lock things up in here. Why can't we lock alerts in here? That's a bummer. All right, so that means that we have a steady growth to the upside, right? Well, then I will be expecting a break to the downside, a little range, and then a continuation upwards. I mean, this will be a good or nice area to jump back in, but I am also looking to sell some gold. And I need to make sure that I come out clean. I was a little biased today because of yesterday's Piper and FDY mentioning their targets. And I was like, you know what? That target actually sounds pretty sweet. I think I'm going to also sell some of my iShares in the market when we get to those areas. Not much, maybe, I don't know, a 20%, 30%. And that's basically it. Piper. I was talking to you today morning and I mentioned, hey, I had a rough night. One of those nights that, I don't know, you had it all, but you just can't sleep. Everything, it just bothers you physically. And I just went to the kitchen to see what could I just work on. And today I just had a pretty rough morning. And let me ask you, what do you do when you have a rough morning? How do you pump back up?
I drink coffee. I pet my dog. I maybe take an 800 milligram Moltron, Army's Ranger candy, they call it. Pop a Moltron makes your day better.
Love it. And that's a fantastic thing because I mentioned right after the show, be right back. I'm going to make myself a little bit of a coffee. So if you're having a rough morning and you have aviation coffee, well, then dark roast. And then you just need a splash of, guess what? And look at me.
And that's
I'm
it
back
for
in normal,
OC
man.
today, guys. Welcome to the Army Piper morning show. No, this guy and his orange juice in his coffee. I'm just saying, man. BC Port Corp said smoke a blunt. No, BC.
Oh,
I try not to smoke. If I do anything, it's gummies, man. But there you go. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Emma Coiner and Trade Intuition both in here. I saw that Emma Coiner is trying to get her stream gear set up right now. So that's awesome. Great to see that. She said, Dutchy, I may or may not be setting it up right now. So shout out to Dutchy. Shout out to Trade Intuition. Alexander G, the mod queen in the house with us. JR. J to the Rizzle. That's what he's being nicknamed around here. Buck says he picks on Piper because it makes his day better. I just ignore you, Buck. If I was to hold up a picture of me sweating, you trying to harass me and make my day hard, it's just a blank photo because I can't picture that shit, man. OC, what do you got for some alts though? Let's go take a look at the alts and see how they're looking because right now Bitcoin is struggling to hold on this. Here, I'll pull you up here with me and we'll pass it over to you. Struggling to hold the dynamic reactor right now. And we're pulling back on it. This is the dynamic reactor right here from chart primes indicators. Nice little breakup, rebound on the 50, but we're not getting that bounce here. You see that wick there, that big wick energy right there. That is the bears absorbing the bullish pressure. So we're seeing a pullback there. I'd like to see how the alts are looking though. Let's jump over to your chart and take a look.
sorry, just taking that in. All right, so let's get started with here. I'm back in Bitcoin. You are correct. I do see the same thing struggling to hold this zone. Remember that still we already are calling for a possible long still. And where is that long? A little bit down right here on the 112. And by the way, that is, let me remind you, a 1/4 of a long, just in case we're making a triangle. If we start losing that area, well, then we're going to be reanalyzing for a possible re-entry on the golden pocket, but we are not there yet, right? That means that we can still have a little bit of a adventure with the crypto icons, right? Which is shorting them. So one of those, it is Ethereum. This was what we were looking for, basically a rejection out of this zone in here. Well, right there on our resistance. Well, who would have thought, rejecting out of our resistance. Here we go into a loud order block and then hitting the bottom line right here. Why is it that area? Because we have a support zone. Not only that, we created yesterday as we were going upwards a loud order block. So this is important. If Bitcoin start going back down, well, then despite we have a loud order block, we can start thinking, or we can start seeing that we consume the order block as we range sideways. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm not going to be going for a short right now in Ethereum until we start losing some trend lines. And this is going to be my trend line. Is it a little bit far away? Yes. But still, that is because we are on a parabolic movement. So you can see if we grab this, and this one, we start making that little parabola. All right. So let me just keep this clean. Let's get rid of this, and the next possible entry that is not a confirmed entry, guys. All right. It is not a confirmed entry, but still looking for a long somewhere around 4,056 zone. All right. So right there at the bottom of that loud order block. If we hold this zone, well then, as I said, we're going for a long, and then there's something funny right now. So why then am I having or using that trend line? Because I am expecting, there we go, look at this, that we could bounce off the zero line and look at the direction right now of my money flow, right? Yes, my volumetrics is starting to curl back down, but as long as I have some money flow and it's still on the red, but if I can manage to break back above that zero line, I think we can make it. If not, if we see a breakout, then rejection well, then my short is going to be right here on the way down. So no harm, no foul. So basically, this is going to be my no trading zone, and I'm just going to be trading the breakout retest and continuation. Let's go over XRP. XRP seems like it is basically playing out as Ethereum should be in a couple of minutes in here. So why am I not longing it? Well, I'm not longing this because this has played out a little bit earlier. We're losing, look at that strength on our ADX, while our Ethereum is not that dramatically pointing downwards, and we're getting into bouncing zones, all right? So let's go back to XRP. XRP, yes, we could be going into bouncing zones, but still, it is a sharper move to my to the downside in here. And then we have a double peak performance, and well, we're coming back down in here. We have a little bit more developed or evolved volume matrix, and I'm going to try to push it a little bit lower. That's why we have this maybe breakout. There we go, retest, then longing this part and then shorting the rest of it, as we were expecting from yesterday. We just made it a little bit faster, right? So as you can see, here he goes, something like that. All right, so we're still with the same plan, and that was because of the goose head that it was forming, just a little slightly different shaping here. Let's go to Stellar. Stellar, I was expecting to have, there we go, we were on the daily, and on the daily, let me bring this back up. All right, I was expected to have a breakout to the loud order block because of the magnetic strength, but and because also we have a possible reversal and a bullish divergence. Seems as he's taking it a little bit while to get there. I'm still going to be adding an alert at 0.35 and looking for that possibility, which is longing it from this section here. We haven't just now broken the trend line. This is it, and maybe I can go for that one. There it is, and lock it, of course, and create an alert. So from here, I'm going to clear everything up, but this line, let's also lock this. Let's lock that one, and that will be it. Let me clear the rest of it so we have a cleaner picture. 4 hours, and I'm going to start adding my indicators. I'm below the dynamic reactor, projection of the dynamic reactor. Look at how that plays out very nicely, right? And there we go. We have some liquidity zones. Once again, just like with XRP, just like with Bitcoin, just like with Ethereum, right? At this point, when everybody's looking for a short, we are not only either shorting it, but we're looking for a counter trade to bounce from, all right? So as you can see, I'm going to be just ever so slightly adjusting my alert. Right here, it's going to end up at 0.35, and I'm going to be looking for that bounce to the upside somewhere in here. Just remember, look at this very faint line. This is an automated trend line created by Chart Prime. There you go. And thank you, honey. And excuse me. And well, then that means that we can still whiplash a little bit lower right there, right? So let's leave it as is. Let's go check out BNB. BNB, as you can see, we hit the target. Not quite there. We did not actually ring the alert, but we hit the main target in here, and we're gonna be going for the same pattern but lower. All right, so let's bring up once again, where is our blue line in here, for example? Where is our oh, another line right here, right? And finally, I want to bring up my where is it? Come on, order blocks. All right, order blocks are slightly below right here, and then bring up once again my VRVP. I want to go for where are my smart money entries. So I do see a smart money entry right here, and I see another smart money entry right there. So as you can see, they're pretty close, right? And another one right here. We need to be a little bit careful because we do have interpolation right here, and well, getting all the way down here will be basically a death signal for BNB, basically getting us a lows around 927. So just looking for my next reentry, which is going to be somewhere right here at 900 something, 989. Here it is. And let me just push it ever so slightly above. There it is. So that's what I'm going to be looking for, BNB. And let's go and take a look at something that I like, and that's going to be grass. So we were looking at grass yesterday.
JR likes grass too, just so you know. Shout out to JR.
Oh, nice. High five, brother. All right. And I think I just understand, but me too. All right. The good kind of grass, I guess. So basically, we were calling this area right here losing the trend line. We are losing it, right? So we have a very nice movement to the downside, and we're going to be looking for our next reentry, which is, I think it seems pretty obvious, right? Our huge disparity box in here, right? Despite there's not that much volume, well, is a what is it, the fourth, fifth area? Well, look at that disparity. So we can look for a there we go. Oh, come on, let me draw a flat pass of bearish continuation, and then, well, that sweep of the lows and bounce back up. So this is what's gonna be what am I gonna be looking for on grass. So grass, hopefully you bounce hard and steady. All right, other than that, that's what I got so far on altcoins. I can go over any other that you might want me to, or if you're looking at
Actually,
something,
I
let me
need
know.
you to put on your tinfoil hat for a second, because I'm sitting here looking at some stuff. Put on your tinfoil
Let's
hat. We need a
go.
little conspiracy theory here, and then I also need to harness. The zodiac people, the astrology peeps in the audience here. So we have potential tonight of a government shutdown. That government shutdown would negate job numbers this week. Okay, which haven't been great lately, which would give this moment of no good or bad data coming out, which would ensure that we likely get another rate cut, right? Typical government shutdowns last about 7 days. That is if it's not immediately over, it lasts in a window of 7 days. 7 days would be next Tuesday, OC. That would be day 7, right? Check it out. And so the conspiracy side of it, tinfoil hat side, the government wants this shutdown to keep those numbers suppressed this week, right? The timing of it for our astrology people, look what the 30-day mark is. It's Tuesday, October 7th, 7 days from now, would be the next full moon cycle. Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's go back here and look. I am not a big subscriber to this thing, but you just can't deny it. Look, there's our bad moon, right? That's the bear moon. There's our bull moon, and it goes up. There's our bad moon. We had a little bit of a pullback, not much. There's our good bull moon again, right? Up. There's our bad moon, goes down. There's our good moon, did not play out. Okay. There's one that didn't play out there. Here's our bad moon, a little bit of a pullback. Here's our good moon, another pump. Bad moon, down, good moon, up. Okay. Over and over and over. Look what would fall right here at the end of this, sell off for the uncertainty, blah, 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 right? And then we hit 1 week. They come to an agreement, and we get our new bull moon for another ride to the upside next week in October. I'm just saying, OC. Your tinfoil hat brain tells us what on this? Trading is astrology for crypto, bro, says DDT. You right, bro. You right. But you can't deny one out of how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 out of 6 did not play out in the last 6 of the new moon. So, your thoughts on this, OC? Your thoughts?
Well, there's been studies about the moon, right? Gravity affecting us and the other way around, right? So how astronauts played out when they're in space and they have no gravity, and how the tides well, what's going on? They kidnap him.
No, I just had
They
to
took him
I had to
away.
go refresh the camera. You're good. Keep going.
So there's no denial that things like this happen, right? At the end of it all, we're primal, we're animals, right? We're part of the nature, and we live into an ecosystem. And just like, for example, one of my most, like, I would say, tinfoil hat things they are related to math, which is the Fibonacci sequence. Nobody freaking actually knows, but it just repeats over and over and over and over. And when we start applying those figures, because that came out, if you didn't know, guys, from geometry, right? When we start seeing that geometry apply on mathematics, well, then we can follow patterns. So I would say that the moon phases apply the same thing. I was not a big fan of those until Alex or Crypto actually started pulling that up on Chart Prime, and let me tell you that they have a pretty good win rate. Again, it's not that I'm gonna be just trading out on the moon, but definitely I think people go more risky or more risk on when there is a full moon, maybe more gravity. There, maybe we feel less of Earth gravity, and we feel less stressed down, right? Because I don't know, the weight on our shoulders. I don't know. I'm just rumbling at this point, right? That's my personal theory. That having that weight lifted, we feel better, and well, we go and take more risk. That's why also people get more aggressive.
We'll have to see, man. It's October 7th. That's what I'm watching for. Maybe October 7th kicks off October, and then we get that run. But yeah, and that would give the opportunity for Bitcoin to refresh that Bitcoin dominance as the alts sell off here on the continuation from the current sell off that we're on. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but that's about it today, guys. OC, you got any thoughts for today? How are you approaching the volatility today before we head out of here?
So today's going to be just a look to see what we can grab. Yesterday was a little bit of the same, but I believe that throughout today and tomorrow, we're going to have some confirmations. As you can see, yesterday we took 2 trades, 2 shorts. And well, right now we're going for the counter trade. Again, market's a little bit choppy, a little slow, I would say, but that is a good signal. That is a good signal because being a little bit boring right now, I would say that they're preparing for a good movement. And maybe that's going to be throughout the weekend as lately. I mean, last time was, what is it, Sunday? And also keep an eye on 3 a.m. for dumps. No kidding. No kidding. It's been playing out.
They happen. Nice. 3 a.m. like clockwork. East Coast timeline there, guys. 3 a.m. That's what's been happening. All right, guys. We appreciate you guys being here today. All of you from the Honor Gang and the alumni. Always a pleasure to do this show every morning for you guys right here 10 a.m. Don't forget, tune into OC Guy tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for trade setups with OC Guy. Then tomorrow morning, BC Port Corp will be back again with Good Morning Crypto. We'll be back at 10 a.m. to see, are we in a government shutdown or not, guys? Strap in. Let's go. We're going to see what it's like tomorrow morning. But we'll be here breaking it down for you regardless of what it is. Shout out to the Honor Gang. I will see you guys in the chat tomorrow morning with Alex O Crypto. I'm always, each my morning routine. I listen to him as I'm getting ready for our show. So you guys have a great day. Trade safe. Use some risk management. Peace, love, and profits. Remember, be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. We'll catch you guys later. We're heading over to Dan O Crypto. He's going to be talking about some crypto setups over there and some TA and why he's bullish on October. So make sure you guys drop the alumni caps and some otters when you get over there. Let them know we have entered the house. So catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.
That's the rap. Chart stack, data never lie. Piper led the mission, OC in the sky. Spaghetti on the screen, but the vision stay prime. Chart prime visual, signals on time. Alumni strong, we built from the grind. Lessons in the market that'll outlive time. Knowledge is profit, you know how we run. Till the next one, stay sharp, get it done.
You can't handle the truth. Emotional damage.
We'll see you at the next
They
one.
don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Morning market report out, 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 out.
Boom shakalaka.
We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report out. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report. Ow.
That was awesome, dude.
Hey, it didn't break. What else you got?